Hello, everyone. Welcome to my class. Welcome back again. Our lesson for today is all about classes and objects in Java language. Last time we discussed um, how we can create actual classes and objects in Java, but right now we have to dive into the basic knowledge and theoretical concept of what is class and objects in Java. Okay, so let's dive into it. Okay, first, what is a class? Classes and objects are basic concepts of object-oriented programming which revolve around real-life entities. Class is a user-defined blueprint or prototype from which objects are created. So we already know that class is a blueprint or template to the codes. Uh, that was our definition last time. It represents the set of properties or methods that are common to all objects of one type. In general, class declaration can include these following components in order. First, there is a modifiers. A class can be public or has a default access. We already discussed on it that there are three types of access modifier, which is public, private, and protected in Java. Second, class keyword. A class keyword is used to create a class. I also mentioned it on our last meeting that there is a keyword, okay, that tells the compiler that you're creating a class. Next is the class name. The name should begin with an initial letter. Okay, then the first letter should be capitalized. And also the file name of your class is also the name of your is the same with your class name. Next is superclass, if any, the name of the class, parent, or superclass, if any, preceded by the keyword extends. A class can only extend subclass one parent. So we can see it or we can use this kind of function during our inheritance topic. So for now, I will just let you show you what is and that code look like later on the actual coding session. Next is interfaces, a comma-separated list of interfaces implemented by the class, preceded by the keyword implements. A class can be implement more than one interface. So the same with our inheritance, we cannot proceed to interfaces if we don't have the idea and knowledge what is inheritance is. So if you can see in your class definition, if you found it implements, that means you are implementing interface in your class. So next, I'll just show you later how it looks like in your code. And six, we have body. Okay, inside the left brace and the right brace, all you need to put in your class. Okay, the class body is surrounded by braces. In the body, you can write the, the class members. Okay, the first class member is the attributes or the characteristics, and second is the methods or functions or behavior. So there are only two parts of a class. So it should be attributes, characteristics, and next is the second part is the attributes, no, behavior, function, or method. Constructors are used for initializing new objects. So there are also new features in class which is constructor. Fields are variables that provide the states of the class and its objects, and methods are used to implement the behavior of the class and its objects. There are various types of classes that are used in general in real-time applications such as nested classes, anonymous classes, and lambda expressions. We can go back to constructors. And I will show you what is constructor is on our actual code. So that is just a constructor is a special method or function that the same name with your class name. And once the class is being initiated or created, the constructor will execute. So we will dive into it. Um, how can create our simple class. Okay, so we'll open my here my IDE, which is Eclipse. So I'll be creating a new project for us. I'll create new, and I can name it for example section A, ITS, sorry for that, ITS 202, and click finish. Just don't create module name. So I have here ITS 202 as my project. I can create a class here. Okay, so based on our activity, I'll be creating a class like hero for now, because our activity last time is we're talking about hero for ML. So there is the name of the class hero, and it will be saved into our project ITS202. So I have here a lot of like to create, so I'll just uncheck everything. I'll just need modifier should be public, so that is just leave the default settings for our project. So just click finish. So we have here a file name hero.java, and here we have now a class name hero. Okay, basically what we have mentioned a while ago is there's only these few things. Okay, remember that when we create classes in Java, we have at least five things to consider. First is the access modifier. This is the first one that we mentioned a while ago. Second is the class keyword. That is the we can tell the compiler that we're creating a class. And the third one is we have here the name of the class. And the fifth one is the class body. So where is the third and the fourth one? So third one is what we called inheritance feature, which we extend our class. Okay, so we can, if you see a class that look like this, extends, and it will extends to, for example, another class. I'll just say, for example, human, for example. So that means the hero are extending to the human class, meaning the superclass for the hero is the class human. So later on, we will learn from this when we get on our topic, or we can go to our topic inheritance. So for now, I'll just show you what it look like if there is um, a superclass in your class. So that tells that you are extending your hero to human class. So here it is a class name. Any in your project. Okay, then last is the fourth one is implements. If your class see that you have implement, okay, you hero implements, for example, uh, new skin, for example. So implements keyword is tell the compiler that you are going to include interfaces in your class. So later on, we will learn how what these interfaces on the scheduled session for implements and no interfaces. So when we include interfaces on our class, we use implements. So that's really what we are talking about on how we can create classes, or the basic idea or concept of classes in Java. So just leave it only until only we will just look into only the first one, which is the access modifier, and we have also keyword classes, and the third one is the name, and the fifth one is the class body, because the third and the fourth one are only optional in our time right now. So it's just optional since we are just only basic learning the class and objects features in Java. So remember that there are two members inside the class. Okay. So we have two members, and that is the attributes and the methods. Okay. So there are many terminologies about attributes and methods. So like we can set all of the attributes for the hero for a while. So we have set of attributes for our class hero. For example, the name. So it should be string name. We have also a code. So we have int code, hero code, and we have also string role, and we have also string specialty. We have string laning, and we have int, okay, release year our year. So basically we have those attributes in our class hero. So remember, all members should also declare what is the access modifier for this one. So we are lucky that Java has a default access modifier for all attributes into public. So even though we see that we only have these codes, we can tell that these are public access, or the access modifier set with those attributes in the class are all public. It's just like this one. So public public string name, public string role, public string specialty, public string laning, and public string integer. So we always set what is the access modifier to our attributes, but we are lucky enough that the default one is set to public. So we can also set like this one, but the best practice is if you set it in public, just remove here public keyword. Okay, but I just want you to learn that public keyword and don't have a public keyword is all the same. It's set to public, but the default setting in Java is public. So there is a default one. So still the same. Okay. So these are the attributes that we can set into our classes, our class hero right now, because this is our team template. But we can also access it directly by creating um, our object in our other class that has a main method. So basically, we will just create a class that has a main function. So I will create a class main, and I will be creating a main function, public static void main string args. So for us to really know what is the things that are want to make it to make me explain it much more nicer for us, for you guys. So we have to create a new instance of our class, which is hero. Okay, so by doing it by that by calling the calling the name of a class hero and the name of your object that you are going to create, like for example object 1. Okay, so also will be instantiating or creating a new template na. Okay, so we have new hero. Okay, so this is what we declare initialize. Um, we declare initialize our object from our hero class. Okay, as you can see here, this is what we call a constructor. So the name of a class and also with open close parentheses, that is a constructor. So the definition constructor is special methods that can access during initialization of our class. So during initialization of our class, it's called not the class is being called, but also the the, the constructor. By default, in our class, there is a default constructor that we cannot see because that's really um, the use for the Java language, because there are some classes that have a constructor. So that is why even though they don't have a constructor defined on your class, you can still run it even there is no constructor. So right here, it is called in for creating a new, since new is a keyword for creating a new instance of our class. Here, it is called the constructor of the class, okay, which is hero and the constructor. Because constructor is a function that has the same name of our class name. So it's a function, the same name of our class name. So it is defined in our in here um, that constructors are used for initializing new objects. Okay, then fields are variables that provides the states of the class and its objects, and methods are used to implement the behavior of the class and its objects. So remember that it is called during initialization of our class. So we instantiate of it. So going back, okay, so just imagine that in our class there is uh, a thing like hero here by default. So this is a special method that inside of our class hero. Okay, so to really test this one, let me output like system out that. Okay, something like for example, hello, I am a constructor. Okay, so we don't even do anything, but we just instantiate or create an object from the class hero. So I'll just make sure that everything is saved. Okay, and now we can run it. So by just calling or creating a new instance of our class hero, we now have an output, hello, I am a constructor. That means when the class is created to become an object, or it has a new object, this hero constructor here is automatically code. Okay, so that is why it is called here hero. So that is the function or the constructor. So if this one doesn't have a definition for constructor, so it is just created a passive lang sa in our class to make our program don't have an error. So if we don't have a class a constructor here or there, you can just getting no error. It is because if you have a default constructor that is set to not avoid. So that means this is a constructor. Even though we don't have a constructor in our class, that is we call a default constructor that has a no function and no value. Okay, so that's really know what is constructor also in our class. Okay, so I can also let you know that in our access modifier, we can set it to public or private and protected. So public, or we can say that that one, I don't have a public, can every object can access all these attributes inside of our class, right? By the use of the dot operator. So, like for example, obj 1, if you use the dot operator, if you're using in an IDE, you can see there the code, laning, string, name, role year, specialty. Those are the attributes inside our class hero. Okay, because everything are set into public. But if we set it into private, okay, we only set only the code into default, which is basically it is also public. So when we go to our object here and type that, as you can see, only the code is now left and everything is not seen. It is because all of those attributes are set to private and you cannot access it in this scope. Only code can be accessed on this scope. And that is also the things that we were going to do in our encapsulation um, topic. Right now, I'm just showing you that even no, in our attributes, there are three parts of it. First is the access modifier, next is the data type, and last is the name. But sometimes, if you set it into public and it is a default, you only see two parts of it. The first part is the data type and the second part is the name. But always think that this is a default one and there is a private public access modifier set on it. So always remember that one. So even though we just type no here no public, but in our object name we can access it all because that is default and that is set also for public. Okay, always remember that we define our attributes if there is set into type of access. Is it public, private, and protected? Okay. So once you have now all of those things set up, so okay, I just want you to know that there is an access modifier behind this. Okay, then we have to go to creating our method. That's the second member of our class hero. So we can create a welcome function, okay, or introduce hero. For example, you can name it whatever you want. Um, for example, um, public, okay, void public void, and we can name it to introduce hero. Okay. So in creating also with our attributes, there are also set of uh, or parts of it. Okay. So first is we also have the access modifier and also the type of our data type of our attribute method and also the name of our method. Okay, and also we have here the parameter list inside of open close parenthesis, that is the part one, and here the fifth one is also the method body. So always remember that there is, if you can see also like this one, void. Okay, the default for this one is also public, the same thing that we can have in here. This is set into default, and also default is public. So sometimes you see only two parts of it, but in behind all of these, we see three parts. We all see always have an access modifier. Okay, so it depends on it really depends on you. If you set it since this is public, so to minimize codes of it, we just avoid or remove public keyword, because if it is public, use the default one to minimize the code. Okay, so you can set, okay, remember here this is the second part, okay, of our class no, our function definition, and this one is the third part. Here the name. Fourth part is the parameter list, and here we have here the class body, no, the function or the method body. So in here, since our data type is void, meaning we don't expect a return type on that one, so basically we can just output directly. If we call this into to zero, so we can just output directly, and we will output um, like um, like this one. My name is, and you concatenate the name of the new hero. So sorry for that. I have to put here hi bang bang. Okay. And forward slash n, and my name is hero. Okay. Um, then um, my name is, and next is um, my hero code in Mobile Legend is, and also slash n. Sorry, the code. Okay. Also slash n, and new line for this one. And next is your role. Okay, so my role is, okay. So what is the role? So concatenate the role. Make sure not to forget the plus sign to concatenate. Okay, and also slash n. My specialty is, okay, the specialty spec- specialty. Oh, okay. Last one is I am a laner slash n. Mm, I am a or ans slash n and the laning. Okay. And lastly, the release here. I was released in slash r here. I guess that's it for our um, for our introduce hero. So we use all of those attributes in our this class or no our object definition here. So probably that's it. So I can go to our main and we can set all of those attributes and assign access all those attributes and assign value to it. Okay. So ABG1 we have code. We can set to code 2 is equal to 15. Okay, always remember if that code is set to integer, right? So meaning the value is integer. No need to type here, for example, to enclose double quotation. That makes your code error because that is not a string. Always remember that there is a double quotation. That means that is a string. So right now, that is not a string, so we don't enclose that one to quotation. And also, we can access another attribute there, obj1, which is the name, and the name is Eudora. Okay, Eudora is the name. So you the name is string, so you should enclose with a double quotation. Another one, obj1 dot um, is a role, right? Role, and the role that is a string, so the role is mage, like for example. And obj1 specialty, that's also a string. Specialty for that one hero is control and bursting. Okay, and we have also the laning. So obj1 laning, it's also the same as all of the other attributes. The string set to string. So made laner and list here. Okay, obj1 that release r here, right? R here, let's integer. For example, that is 2016. So we access our attributes here um, to our from our all the attributes from our hero class are all of our those are accessed through this object. Why we access it? Since those attributes are set to um, public. So now if we also access the method which is introduce hero, okay, obj1 that introduce hero. So what will happen? It will access or you will use this method and it will output some all of these um, string into the console. So we can run this program, make sure it is saved, run. Okay, and this is our output. Hi Bang Bang, my name is Eudora. So we set it to Eudora. My code in Mobile Legends is 15. Yeah, and your role is mage. Okay, my specialty is control and bursting because don't have difficult typographical error. So control and bursting, and I am a midlaner, and I was raised to so everything was set by accessing all the attributes, and we access on it. So we have small error here, like we forgot to put slash n for rule. Okay, but that's everything is okay. Sorry for that. So basically, this is how we can create our class. Okay, so we can create also other functions of our class. Okay, for example, we can add some attribute here, like for example, int. Okay, uh, int mana, for example, health. Okay, int health, int mana, for example, um, and also money. Okay, double. Okay, okay, money. We call it. Okay, so here we can uh, create functions like for example, create a function. So we can disregard public now because it is default that is public. So we can just set here, like for example, since that is integer, we can use integer. And then we can, like for example, heal 20%, heal 20%. So what will happen? Okay, so heal 20%. So you should remember, since this is not now void, it should always has a return type. So you don't need to output in here, but you have to return something on our function. So only void can use system out at print line. All of these, once it is in integer, all of those are calculations. We do calculations here. So all we need to do here is to heal the 20% of the to the health. So we can use, like for example, health is equal to whatever the health plus health times 20. Sorry, 0.20. So we have a problem since when you add or you multiply by 20%, you don't have now an exact integer value. So that is why we have to change this one to double. And also we change this one to double. And we can return the health. Sorry for that. I mistyped only the health. Okay. So in here we have here double. So we can just perform that. We can add the health for 20%. So for example, in our example, we set our value for our health object that health is equal to 89. So when we output it, like for example, we can access it individually by here. We can upload output here. For example, system that out that print line. We can access the health is, and we can output obj1 that health. So by setting the health, we can know the value for the health for our object 1, and the health, sorry, heal. Okay. Health is, run it again. The health is 89.0. So what we're going to do is to use, okay, use the heal function that heals, that we heal the we healed our hero. So we can use system out to output something, since our method here is double and you don't need to output it, so need to return it. So whatever the value that is being calculated in this function will be returned. So right here we will output it, what is the return value for, so out print line. Now health is, if we use obj1 that heal 20%. So if we heal 20%, so what happened when we run? So from our 89.0% our health, we heal our hero to 20%. So we have 106.8 our health. So ni saka atong health. So when we have for example a game and we heal our hero, diba? So it will, the health of that hero will be also it will be grown for the health status. So that's it now. So that is for the health. So you can create a lot of those in gaming. In gaming, you predict how many, since there is a potion. So you can create how much. For example, from 20, from 20, you can create a bunch of those things. Um, like for example, 10 and 10, sorry, that is 20. So here I have here 10%, 10%. So here for example 30, so you heal it 30. So depending of what you're going to set, um, it should be depending on what you're going to call here, it will perform. Okay, so depend on your class definition. The same with mana. You see mana. For example, for mana, Sometimes we use a skill for our hero, then the mana will be deducted. So, for example, for skill one, okay, so we can set it out also for double, and we can set also like double mana, decrease mana, okay, decrease mana for first skill, or so for example, basic attack, for basic attack. So for basic attack, for example, our mana is equal to mana divided by minus 5. Okay, for basic attack. So we return mana. Okay, so going back in here, we set our mana OBG1, our mana, we set it to 100. Okay, so I set our value to 100. So when you game, when we play, like we always attack, right? So first we will set mana. So to figure it out much more nicer, I'll just put a separator and output the mana. Okay, mana status is okay. Then you output obj1 that mana. Okay, print ln. Yeah. So for example, you are keep always at basic attacking basic attack. So you you always attack. For example, you attack 3 times. Okay, first attack. So system out that print line. First attack. First basic attack. So this is the first. So mana is we access obj1 dot deduct mana basic attack, like that one. I'll make it much more bigger and I'll shrink them slowly. Okay, so first basic attack, so probably I will just use first. Okay, first I'll just use basic attack as BA. Okay, mana is okay, to save more space for you to see it clearly. First BA mana is okay, mana is so from 100 and our basic attack, we define it that every we use basic attack, it will decrease to we can name it to, for example, mana attack, basic attack, basic attack. That is why it will make it much more shorter for our codes. Basic attack. So we have basic attack. So when we run it from our mana from 100, it is now turned to 95. So if we use, for example, we use 5 basic attacks, second, just copy and paste it. Third, 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 for fifth basic attack. So right now, so when we run it, you can see mana is always decreasing. Okay. So you can do that one. So then we can also include like we have a basic attack. We have first skill, second skill, and special skill. So we can also use that one. Double s- first skill. Okay. So mana is deducted 25% for example of the mana subtracted by mana um, there is a prescribed we call it mana allocation. For example, made is mine mana minus 25 or 20 for first skill. So we return for mana. So we do the other thing like first skill, second skill. Second skill it will deduct for 40 and um, third skill 60. Okay, so we can also work on it like here. So if our hero uses um, first skill mana, okay, so you will use not the basic attack anymore but use first skill, that first skill. So from 75 minus 20, so it will now 55. Okay, then so on and so forth. If you use all those um, functions that we have created here, we can do. And lastly, we can create double mana regime. Okay, mana regime for example 100%. So always remember what is the value for the mana. Okay, so 100%. So we will set mana is equal to 100 for mana. So it's always for 100%. So for example, it's 100. So he do everything. He use um, the second skill. That is second the second skill. Sorry for this one. So we have the second skill. So how many mana left? The second skill is divided by a minus 40. So we have now our mana is 15. Uh, so we will use Regine. Uh, so You take a portion, like for example, mana regene. In Dota, you go to the river and you see mana regene 100%, for example. So mana, I'll just use mana regene 100. So what will happen when we run it? Okay, there is an error for our mana. Double, we did not return. Sorry for that. Mana. So we don't forget to return since this is a double data type. So run it again. And now our mana reach in one is now mana is 100. So that's the only trick, a simple trick, and I know some of you are uh, fan of uh, playing games like ML. So hopefully you can have a basic understanding and an idea how it will work in actual game. Right now we're just on the basic one, learning what is object and classes, and we incorporate into our game a scenario game. So hopefully you've learned something with this video. Next video is all about objects also, and another a continuation for this kind of example. So I guess that's it for this session. I hope you've learned something from this video, and that's a wrap. So thank you for watching. God bless everyone. Bye bye. Keep safe.